welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Rebel Scale video. We have another limited edition book flip through straight from J.A. Pan. This is an Art of Star Wars covering the entire original trilogy and prequel trilogy released in 2005. I think this is going to be part of a new video series I will affectionately entitle, Why Did the Japanese Get All the Good Shit? Because they clearly get all of the good shit, and this is one of those other books that I really wish I had known about ages ago and was available in the States. Because, you know, I don't know. But anyway, I got this for about $60. It came within about 3 days because Japan does things far more efficiently and they ship things far faster than we do. Because something that comes from Tennessee to Georgia, where I am, can take a week, and yet something from Japan to Georgia takes 3 days. Go figure. Yes, this was released in 2005. Look at them doing the year first. I really wish the US would get on board with the correct way of doing dates. That makes so much more sense. Anyway, we're going to do a quick flip through of this. Now, before we get too far into this, the majority of this book is the same as what's in this book. In fact, everything in this book is the same that's in that book. This book came out in 2002, 2003-ish. It covers the original trilogy and episodes 1 and 2. This one adds in episode 3. If you have a choice between the two, don't get this one. It's junk. Get that one. It's way better. You can also tell it's thicker. Women like thick. So, grab yourself this one. 50 to 60 bucks. Be there in a few days. A few dollarinos, a few pesos, a few whatever you gotta pay to get it there. This one, the guy even gave me a discount because he said that the top had something that spilled on it. Did not penetrate. So it is all good. The pages are beautiful. And we're gonna go through this. Now, first section, I'm betting that a few people who do Star Wars models probably is going to recognize. These probably look familiar to a few of you people because this is a direct copy of the Star Wars Archives, which was also released as the Lucasfilm Archives from Star Wars to Indiana Jones. There were two versions of the book released, one hardback, one paperback. Had some really cool images. I mean, this was the best back in the day for model makers or just for enthusiasts who wanted to see some of the props that they used. This has the very where's it at? Hold on. The very cool indoor radar dish mock-up set. There's a guy that I know that made this. It's a fantastic job. Those are thumbtacks, by the way. They go around the dish. Thought that was so cool. But this is the Star Wars Archives book. This entire first section. It's a Star Wars Archives book without the Indiana Jones section. But let's go to the unique stuff. So starting out with Phantom Menace, mock-up model, some behind-the-scenes stuff. This is in the Art of Episode 1 book. I always liked the single wing version. I thought it was really cool. This, however, I don't think I saw that in the Episode 1 art book. That design is brand new. These are mock-ups of Ota Gunga. I did not know that they actually made models of this. I thought that was pretty fantastic that they not only built it, but they built the clear acrylic bubble sections to it as well. Some sea creatures, Famba. This is cool. You get to see the whole Theed palette, or Theed hangar, I guess you would call it, with the blue screen there where they would fly the Naboo fighter out of. This over here was where the waterfall was from the deleted scene that later was put back in for the DVD release of The Phantom Menace. All the crazy costumes, more stuff. Look at these bubble turrets that were originally going to be on her starfighter. Like World War II bubble turrets. That's awesome looking. I kind of wish they'd kept that, but whatever. If you hear me sniffling, it's because I'm a little bit congested. Starting back at school and I'm catching all the children's gunk. Okay, here. This was something that I talked about in the other book that I did a review on. This is the Pod Race Arena, and you can see all the Q-tips that they painted. Some of them they bent sideways to look like the Q-tips were hugging, because Q-tips are affectionate. You also see all of the figures that are standing out by themselves. These are all Star Wars Micro Machines Action Fleet figures. A-Wing Pilot, Han, 3PO, Prince Shizor, Gamorrean Guard, X-Wing Pilot, 3PO again. There's another Han there, I think. There's a Boba Fett. I mean, and then over here, you can see all the thousands of Q-tips. I mean, good Lord, can you imagine a Q-tip company? They'd be making bank on this movie. He'd probably be telling Lucas, more spectators. Come on, buy a few more 1,000 boxes. Put some more spectators in there. But anyway, I think that's really cool. And then, like I said, all of the separate standing figures that look like they're walking up and down or just off by themselves, those are all Action Fleet figures. And they look spectacular. Moving on, we've got some more. I didn't know that they did a physical model of the start-finish and the track light. That's really neat that they did that. Pod Racers, Pod Racer close-ups. Again, they did full-size models of just about all the Pod Racers. Small models and full-size mock-ups. And then, of course, all the puppets that they did for the past. Look, there's all the Pod Racers and their starting locations, as well as the general size. I mean, you can actually see how large some of these things are compared to, like, Neva Key's Pod Racer or Anakin's Pod Racer, how tiny his was compared to everybody else. Like, that is pretty cool. There's Dud Bolt's cockpit, which Micro Galaxy Squadron is doing a Dud Bolt Pod Racer coming out later on, as well as Gascano. The paint layers on some of these, like Malhonic's Pod Racer, that is astonishing how fantastic they did at painting that thing. Alright, Sith, Maul. Originally entitled Evil Senator, I think he looks like an evil Jafar. Like a more evil Jafar. I'm glad that they went with the full red on black. That looks way cooler. I didn't know they built a model of that. And I don't know what that is, but it looks like sandpaper. Alright, episode 2. Attack of the Clones. Physical model of the Royal Cruiser. I don't believe I've seen that image before, the twin-tailed version. That looks new to me. Maybe it's in the Art of book, but I'm not sure. Padme's outfits. Air speeders. They did a lot of physical models that were just designed for the animators. There's an A9 Starfreighter that they did a model of. Kaminoan mock-ups just for the animators to draw these things in 3D. They had people sculpt those. I don't know where I would begin in sculpting figures like that. It's astonishing. Clone Troopers. Django. The blue Acklay, which we saw in the Chronicles book, but it appears again here in a different pose. I like the blue. I think they should have kept the blue. Super Battle Droids. Other peoples. There's the famous Republic gunship model that Micro Galaxy Squadron copied, not realizing that the missile tubes were way too small. But props for trying. Props for trying. And then episode 3. This is all mostly new stuff that I've never seen before in any book. Some of the planets. That is cool. That planet with like the spine ring around it. That is really neat looking. There's the Arc 170 with the longer tail. I think I kind of like the longer tail on the Arc 170. I think that looks neater. But here's one. I didn't know that they made a physical mock-up of, or a physical model of, the Venator with the long tail. And there's the artwork that has the long tail, and there's the model. And that actually makes me want to dig out my Revell kit and slap some sheet styrene on the back and actually make a long-tailed version of that, because that's pretty cool looking. Actually, I think I like the longer tail better than the standard version. I don't know. They're both cool. I've always liked that cruiser. Some more concepts for Jedi Interceptors. That thing is just this boxy, bulky, random, asymmetrical, awesome thing. I love that. It's just so crazy looking. That one is straight wackadoo, but at the same time, I think it's cool. And then here we're getting closer to what they originally came to. There's that. There's some more artwork that they were doing on some Jedi Starfighter designs, Jedi Interceptor designs, supply droids, which we didn't see, but that's really cool. I'm surprised that they didn't bring those back in Clone Wars. Here's one. I did not know that they made a, let me move that up a little bit, a physical model of the Invisible Hand. And I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like that there's some model kit pieces there that I might recognize. I think I recognize some of those. Some intrepid modeler ought to grab this book and build that. R2, the hero of the entire saga. Some senators. Padme. Utapau. I think it's so cool that they built the entire Utapau sinkhole, and including all these little skeletal structures that align the sides. That was all physically built so that they could drop the camera down and then pan as they're following Obi-Wan's starfighter down. And that's something that, you know, the only digital stuff was the ships flying in and out. The Utapauans. This concept speeder we would see return actually in Clone Wars. General Grievous was on it in one of those episodes. I forget which one. I think it was season 3. Wheel bike. There's another physical set of the tree that they built. And there it is again. I think they digitized the foliage, but they built all of the tree and everything on it. Thought that was really neat. I mean, this is nuts. Some of these droids and stuff, like, I've never seen some of those images. They're just wacky and awesome. This tank droid at the bottom here, with all the different treads on it. Can you see that okay? Yes, Jonathan, I can see that. These walker concepts, this little attack pod here, these over here with the large legs and back, small in front, this walker trunk, that's what walker type with a big trunk, and walker type with a slim trunk. I mean it depends what kind of guy you are. Do you like a slim trunk, or do you like a big trunk? I mean, or do you like a floating trunk? You know, floating trunk, that's a brand new one. Clone tank, the turbo tank. I didn't know that they made a model of or a mock-up of that. That's pretty neat looking. Some of the weapon designs for the Wookiees was just really cool. Like brass, bronze, very steampunk-esque. Some clone trooper concepts. I love this walker. I always thought that was one of the coolest walker designs I've ever seen. It never appeared in any of the movies or shows. It appeared in some of the comics, but it's an open cockpit, twin pilot design with these blaster cannons that stick far out to the side, and it's just so cool looking. I would love to do a model of that thing. Some stuff on Mustafar. And we're coming to the end here. Padme. It's really interesting that the pregnancy belly that they made for Natalie Portman, it was the same throughout the entire movie. They didn't make a smaller, slimmer one at the beginning and then the larger one for the end. It was actually the same size. It's just toward the beginning of the film, they did a better job at hiding it with her clothing, whereas toward the end, it's far more obvious. And I thought that was really neat that it was the same, which you think about, this takes place over 24 hours or so. It would make sense that it's the same size. It's not going to change. But I love that little behind the scenes fact. Droids. This is neat. They built some physical mock-ups of some of the plants on Fallujah, and I've never actually modeled like a plant before, but I think I would enjoy doing that. I don't know how I would go about doing that. This just looks like little marbles that they stacked and painted, but it also looks real. It just, I don't know. It looks like you reach out and touch it and the thing's going to shoot poison darts at you or something. More stuff. Shuttles. The Dagobah. Yoda landing on Dagobah, which was filmed but cut out of the film. And then there you go. That's it. Skywalker Ranch. That's the end. If you want this book, search eBay for Art of Star Wars Japanese book. See what turns up. Again, you're looking for the one with the Jedi Interceptor on the cover. It's sometimes called an Expo Star Wars book. There was another title that I saw it listed under as well. But Art of Star Wars Japan or Japanese should lead you to a few of them that are out there. And like I said, I got this in like 3 or 4 days tops. They shipped it out at Lightspeed, and Magical Fairies dropped it off like yesterday. So really cool book. Great shipping from the people that I got it from. They gave me a discount because of something that randomly spilled on the top but did not seep through the pages. Totally worth it in my opinion. If you're not going to get the Chronicles book, at least pick up this because it's worth it for that artwork alone. Anyway guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you again next time.